That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't, we
quick
can't, we
question?
can't ask Rashad questions.
Jabari thing. This Jabari Peoples, in Alabama, God rest his soul. Pray for the family, continuing to grieve the loss of his tragic passing, at a very, very young age. Someone in my comment section was like, the body cam footage says elsewise. So let me pull this up. What did they say? Hold on. And pause this. Scroll down. The body cam footage usually dismisses this narrative. Okay. And then somebody else says, let's see the body cam footage. Someone else said he was unlawful possession of marijuana. So the police officer instructed the occupants to get out the vehicle. As the police officer tried to place Jabari under arrest, he resisted and he grabbed a firearm. The other occupant also fled the scene when the police officer simply attempted to do his job. It says in this video he had a weapon and he didn't resist. They all resist, bro. They all do. Who is they? I suggest you go look at the official report, which they said was lying, and to trust the official report when police lie in police reports. Come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? Why aren't they releasing the body cam footage? Why is the police report saying one thing and the family saying the other thing? Why, regardless of what happened on the scene, was the family not notified that their child was dead until the next day? Why is this kid that they've known all of their life, why are they confused about, dang, he was pulled over, he was killed by the cop, this and that? Because maybe that wasn't his character to go reach for a firearm when they're arresting him for possession of marijuana. At the end of the day, what you're telling me with that story is that he was killed. He received a death sentence for smoking weed, for having some weed on him. That's what you're telling me right now, bro. I want y'all to be so for real and sit back and really listen to what y'all saying, dog. With that being said, I'm going to read this story from AL.com. Body cam video of Homewood police killing a beloved Aliceville teen is quote unquote being hidden, family lawyer says. This is written by Carol Robinson, the attorney of a family of a beloved Aliceville teen fatally shot by Homewood police, said the Alabama law enforcement agency is putting off the family's request to immediately view the footage of a deadly. Why? I want you guys to use common sense here. 2 and 2. If it looked bad for Jabari and it made sense for Jabari to no longer be on this earth after his encounter with the police, after his fatal encounter with the police, why didn't they? Hey, here's a video. But hey, I understand you're emotional right now. You're grieving. You're going through a lot. But here's what little buddy was doing when we pulled him over. It's just protocol. He pulled out the gun. We felt threatened and this and that. Like, we seen the firearm. It was this, is that, blah, 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 and that's what happened. Why wasn't that the immediate thing? Why was it, hey, let's not even call the family who didn't have their child come home tonight. We won't tell them until the next morning. Nearly 12, 10, 12. Come on, bro. Like, what? Like, oh my gosh, dog. I don't know. I'm sorry. Let me get back to reading. Birmingham lawyer Leroy Maxey, who represents the family of 18-year-old Jabari, 18 years old. So you know he was still staying at the house. So when he was coming back, you know his family expected him to be back in the house at night before the next morning. It wasn't until the next morning when he didn't come back all night that they finally notified them about what was going on, bro. Basic human decency, dog, of a kid that's no longer on this earth. The last chance as a human he'll have to receive some type of decency. Notifies the people that love me that I'm no longer here. As soon as possible, please. Especially when it came to the hands of the people that we pay the taxes for to protect us. What were they protecting if he had unlawful possession of marijuana? What were they protecting him from? What were they protecting the community from? An 18-year-old smoking some weed? Birmingham lawyer Leroy Maxwell, who represents the family of 18-year-old Jabari Peoples, said the family asked to see any available footage on Thursday or Friday and said he has submitted all of the paperwork required by ALEA to do so. Quote unquote, they denied that request, Maxwell told AL.com on Thursday. They said they do not have a timeline at this point for us to view the footage. Homewood police said in an earlier statement said the fatal pew 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 of Peoples was captured on video and said the arrangements were being made to his family to watch the footage. Arrangements to be made. It's a video. Hey, can you come to the station at 5 p.m.? We'd like to show you the video. You see how that took 2 seconds? What are you talking about? We making arrangements. Man, get out of here, bruh. Bunch of baloney. Since ALEA's State Bureau of Investigation is leading the probe, all footage has been turned over to the state agency. ALEA did not immediately respond to the request for comment about Maxwell's request on behalf of the family. Why? Why don't they even have a comment to explain why they haven't shown to Maxwell's family the footage of Maxwell in his last moments as an 18-year-old child? Why? It's basic common sense here, bro. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. We expected, quote unquote, that there to be at least we have the family to view the video much sooner, but excuses. But they're not allowing it to happen, which is creating more and more mistrust. 100%. Quote unquote, we're going on the third day of him being deceased and not being allowed to see what happened. Ridiculous. Peoples was a 2024 graduate of Eliceville High School who worked as security guard as the DCH Regional Medical Center. Quote unquote, he loved the idea of law enforcement and wanted to work in law enforcement at some point. Crazy. Kid wanted to be in law enforcement. He was working as a security guard. He wanted to be in law enforcement someday. He was a student, quote unquote. He was loved. He was quiet. He was kind. He was respectful, Maxwell said, quote unquote. There's nothing I've seen to counter the narrative whatsoever, quote unquote. He was an 18-year-old with a bright future, he said. He has no history whatsoever being disrespectful to law enforcement. 18 years old. Peoples was unalive on Monday night while he and a female friend were sitting inside of a vehicle at the Homewood Soccer Park on South Lakeshore Drive near Columbiana Road. Excuse me. In a Wednesday statement, Homewood police officers said that there has been a recent increase in criminal activity in and around the city's athletic complexes. And on Monday, a veteran officer spotted the vehicle in the back corner of a parking lot. With the female friend, I guess what an 18-year-old was doing with the female friend in the corner of a park. And he had some weed on them. They being 18-year-olds, bro. Kids should not die for being an 18-year-old dog. Should he get a stern talking to? Hey, you can't be doing that out in public. Hey, you can't be smoking that out in Alabama. That's against the law in this jurisdiction. That's what he deserved from an officer. Not for his life to end. All right, here we go, man. The officer approached the vehicle in his marked police cruiser and saw 2 occupants in the vehicle. As a uniformed officer approached the vehicle, he smelled the odor of marijuana, police said in a Wednesday statement. The officer ordered both occupants out of the vehicle. When the driver, now identified as Peoples, exited the vehicle, the officer observed a handgun in the door pocket of the open driver's side door. The officer then attempted to handcuff Peoples to arrest him for unlawful possession of marijuana and possible other charges, police said, at which point Mr. Peoples began to actively resist. A physical struggle ensued, at which point the officer was knocked to the ground. According to the statement, Peoples broke away from the officer and retrieved the weapon from the open driver's side door pocket, creating an immediate force to the officer. So you mean to tell me this 18-year-old Bruce Lee, y'all, over him getting arrested for some weed? He John Cena, y'all. All right. The officer, fearing for his safety, fired one round from his service weapon to defend himself in accordance to the Alabama state law, because we all know the police reports never lie. Mr. Peoples fell to the ground, still gripping on the weapon in his right hand. The statement read, the officer gave multiple verbal warning commands for Mr. Peoples to let go of the weapon. The officer then called for an emergency backup as the other vehicle occupant, who had fled into the woods, began approaching with the officer. Because maybe an 18-year-old was scared. Have you ever thought of that? The officer then instructed the other occupant to sit on the curb while he removed the weapon from People's possession. Medics were then requested to respond to the scene. According to the police, backup officers arrived within 1 minute and 36 seconds after officers' request for assistance and immediately began rendering medical treatment to Peoples. So why is the family statement saying you guys didn't? While the emergency aid was being rendered, officer who fired the bling 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 secured the other occupant in the back of the marked Homewood police unit. Peoples was taken by a Homewood medic to UAB hospital, where he passed away. The details surrounding the incidents were clearly captured on the officer's body worn by the camera, of which Ayla took possession. The statement read, arrangements are being made to coordinate the video of by Mr. Peoples' family. People's family is demanding public release of a full police report, available body cam and dash footage, identification of the officer, and a full independent investigation. The family said a witness told Peoples was approached by an individual in an unmarked vehicle with no lights, no sirens, and no visible identification. The officer exited the car, tapped on the window, and told the occupants to exit. They followed directions. Statement read, Jabari complied, and within seconds he was taken to the ground and unalived. We will pursue this case until the truth is fully exposed and the justice is served, quote unquote, according to the family's statement posted on Facebook, not only for Jabari, but for every family who's been forced to bury the loved one without any answers. Maxwell said it's important for the video to be released to the public as soon as possible. Asked if the family would accept what would happen if the video backs up the police account, he said, and said, quote unquote, I think we have to look at it from all angles. We got to see what led up to it, what happened. Quote unquote, why was there a search and seizure? It's not illegal to be parked in a parking lot, Maxwell said. Why were they being approached? Did the officers escalate or de-escalate the situation? I think it's going to be more gray than black and white. Quote unquote, obviously we want to see what's on the video and we want to see the actual situation, he said. There are multiple ways to interpret a video, but they need to let the video footage speak for itself, because at this point, we all feel like it's being hidden from us. And there we go. As SSB said, release the body cam footage and let the video do the talking, man. My name is Rashad Milligan, man. I appreciate the support so much. Shout out to Carol Robinson for writing this from AL.com. I appreciate SSB and Nate stopping by as always in the chat, showing some love and things of that sort this Friday night. And as always, man, have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good day, have a good evening, have a good night. If nobody else told you today, I care for you, man. I will be back on stream tomorrow night, because I'm on stream every single day. Until next time, man. Peace.
That steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but.
And Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.